What's going on, guys? Drewzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video and another top 10 video here on the channel, as you guys really seem to enjoy the top 10 rankings video that I did with the legendary cards. If you haven't checked that video out, it is going to be in the videos on the channel here. But today's episode is going to be pretty simple, guys. We're going to be looking at the top 10 range cards in the game right now. We're going to start at number 10 and work our way up to the number 1 card. And the main reason why I'm doing this kind of breakdown with the range cards is because Ink and Craig is going to be coming out here in the next few days within the game. He is going to be a range card, so I kind of wanted to focus on the range cards here, as one is about to be added here fairly soon. But as always with these kind of ranking style videos, you guys are going to disagree with some of the choices I'm about to make. Please let me know of any of the stuff that you agree or disagree with down in the comment section down below. Let's just go ahead and jump right in here and start looking at what I think is the top 10 range cards within the game. And we're going to start with number 1 here, guys, which might be a surprise to you guys, but I'm actually going to go with Big Gay Al as number 10. And one of the main reasons why I went with Big Gay Al is for a variety of different reasons. Number 1, he does have a decent amount of health for a range unit. Yes, he's a little bit more expensive at 5 energy cost, which is a little more expensive than most of the range units, but he is the only range card that has a headhunter style ability, where he will throw glitter bombs directly at the headhunter. Yes, I know Marine Craig will shoot his poison across the battlefield and essentially poison the enemy leader and new kid, but in reality that's not really a headhunter. That is just a Warcry ability, not a headhunter focus, as in headhunters, and Big AI will only go for the enemy new kid. He will not try to attack any other units attacking him. But if he is leveled up high enough, as mine is not leveled up very high, but if leveled up high enough, he can really be devastating. At level 4 and 5 in Legendary Arena, he can do some really good damage. He can be a good surprise unit to kind of throw there towards the end of the match with the double energy there towards the end. He can just take and overwhelm you towards the end of a match, can easily take a bar by himself if he's ignored. But now with a lot of people having level 4, 5, 6 common cards in Legendary Arena, it's going to be a little bit easier to take Big Gay Al out. But he still, in my opinion, has some value in the mid tiers and even in Legendary Arena currently within this game. So, you know, this one might be debated, but I really think Big Gay Al is a little undervalued, even though I've undervalued him myself, but I still think he deserves to be in this top 10 breakdown. Number 9 is going to go to Pirate Ship Timmy. Now, Pirate Ship Timmy, again, I have underleveled myself, but is a much stronger card than people, I think, give him credit, and again, including myself, because I've underleveled him. His charged ability launches a cannonball at the nearest enemy that does insane amount of damage. It has a mild amount of splash damage, which was something that I am correcting from a previous video where I said he did not do any kind of AoE damage. His charged ability does do a mild amount of AoE. His basic attack does not, however, but that cannonball will do increased amount of damage as you level him up, and that cannonball damage can directly impact the new kid if there are no enemy units on the battlefield. So Pirate Ship Timmy is definitely someone you need to pay attention to. With his rarity, it's going to be easier to level him up than some of these other cards that will become later on as we go through this breakdown. But again, I just think Pirate Ship Timmy has a lot to offer, primarily with his charge ability. He has great range at 5 range, which a lot of range units mostly have 4s and sometimes even 3s, but a 5 is the cream of the crop right now with range, and Pirate Ship Timmy has it, so I think he is definitely worth putting on this top 10 list. Number 8 for this countdown is Captain Wendy, and the main reason why Captain Wendy is on this list and why she's so higher on this list is due to her charge ability, which shoots the 3 closest enemies for a specific amount of damage. She does have a little bit of fallback from Pirate Ship Timmy with the range aspect at a 4 versus his 5, but I think that her charge ability provides a little bit more value than Pirate Ship Timmy, which put her a little bit ahead of him. Yes, they are the same energy cost, they are the same rarity, and they're in the same type and theme, but in reality, both those cards are fairly similar in a lot of ways. Just the only reason why Captain Wendy got the nudge up, in my opinion, was because of her charged ability. Because if she's leveled up high enough, she can one-hit most level 4 and even some level 5 assassins if you get her into the 5s and above. So that can be really nice for you to be able to turn a match around for you if you have 3, just a bunch of units swarming at you. If you can get her charged off successfully, you can wipe out a couple of units that would otherwise do a ton of damage to you and your enemy new kid. So Captain Wendy, definitely deserving to be on this list. Number 7 is Gunslinger Kyle. Now, Gunslinger Kyle is probably one of my favorite range units out of this top 10 list. I think Gunslinger Kyle is a little undervalued. His charge ability is very, very nice, gives all of his allies and the leader a plus whatever amount of damage attack for 3 seconds. Now with mine at level 5, he currently does 103 bonus damage, and that will go to even swarm units, to all the other units that you and allies that you have on your team at that time, which is devastating. Decent health, decent attack damage for a ranged unit. 3.7 range is his only really true weakness, is that he has a very minimal range and can be taken out and actually attacked by the enemy new kid's sap damage when he gets into view, which at 4 and plus, those ranged units are not going to be taking sap damage from an enemy new kid. However, unfortunately, Gunslinger Kyle does. But he just, I think his charge ability is just so powerful and can be such a turnaround in a match for you that he just had to be shot up the list a little bit higher than some of the other ones. He's also a common rarity, so it's going to be much easier to level up and much less expensive than some of these other ranged units, again, that we will go through as we go through this breakdown. But Gunslinger Kyle, definitely, I wouldn't say undervalued because he's used quite a bit, especially in the Legendary Arena. More and more people seem to be using him, I've noticed lately. And people just seem to ignore him as well because he doesn't have that devastatingness of some of the legendary range units or some of the other range units that will be much higher up on this list as far as instant need to take out of the match. And I still think he needs to be focused on and taken care of because his charge ability can really help you turn the tide of a match. Coming in at number 6 is Catapult Timmy. Catapult Timmy is probably my favorite Timmy, and one that I've really started utilizing a lot more and is actually in my main deck that I'm utilizing right now. I think the Timmy cards definitely are the strongest of the range card of the set of cards for sure, and Catapult Timmy definitely helps in that regard. He has good health, good damage output. His charge ability is really nice. It launches rats at the nearest enemy. Now this used to launch 3 rats with his charge ability when he was first implemented in the game, but there has been a debuff to that down to 2 rats, which happened probably a couple months into the game launch because Catapult Timmy was so widely used by everybody that was rolling fantasy decks that they decided to try to nerf him a little bit by limiting the number of rats that he has. But all the rest of his stats have stayed the same and have gotten better with some of the rare buff tweaks that he's received. But Catapult Timmy definitely is a card that you will notice people cancel out and take care of, because if he's allowed to stay alive, his rats can overwhelm you a little bit at times. It's nowhere near as devastating as it used to be with the 3 rats, but with 2 still, it can help chip away at an assassin, defend him to keep him alive a little bit longer, help somebody with like a Zen Cartman or any other tank in front of him that he can just distract and keep that tank alive a little bit longer. There's just a lot of value to Catapult Timmy, or as some people used to call him, Tryhard Timmy. But he's definitely a strong card still, even with the nerf that happened a few months ago, but definitely deserves to be on this list. And one of the newer range cards to jump into the battlefield, BEBE, coming in at number 5, and she's really shot up the list because of just her usefulness, and she's been used quite a bit, and more people seem to be using her as we've gone along. Now it's you able to get BEBE in free packs and things like that, which is just going to make her value that much more important, as I hope to soon get her to level 5, because she can be devastating with her ability. She does not have a charge or a war cry or anything like that. She just has a flat ability that whenever BEBE kills an enemy, her speed increases. There is a limit to the number of speed increases that she gets, which should be 3 units if my memory serves me correctly. But it's very good at taking out swarm units especially. It is a great counter for rats. It is a good counter even for underpants gnomes, pigeons, things like that. If you see, she is definitely advised to be used when a swarm unit is cast. I would not suggest casting her with a fighter coming at you or a tank or an assassin, because she's not going to do enough damage to take care of that. But with a couple of boosts to her attack speed from killing a swarm unit, she can devastate and do a lot of things for you in the positive if she's kept alive. Often she's going to be one that someone's going to focus on poisoning and trying to take out as quickly as possible, because BEBE can definitely turn the tide of a battle for you and help you be especially more defensive. She can be in an offensive setting, but she's definitely a much stronger use as a defensive card within the game, and would highly suggest that if you're going to use BEBE, to focus on her being defensive first. That way she can be built up and then be an offensive component for you in your push going forward. But definitely BEBE, one of the top range cards for sure in this game. At number 4, this might come as a shock to you guys because of how much I've raved about MEDUSA, and I really do like MEDUSA. She's one of my favorite legendary cards in the game, but MEDUSA is 4 on this list, and we will get into details why there are 3 cards better than her as we go along in this breakdown. And one of the main reasons why Medusa BEBE has fallen, because at one point, in my opinion, she was the best legendary card in this entire game. But the reason why she's really fallen a lot is because her attack speed has not had any kind of buff. She's had buff to other areas like her health and her actual base attack damage, but because her attack speed is relatively slow compared to some of these other ranged units, that puts her at a severe disadvantage. She does have a really good ability like all the other Bebes do. Her ability is a little bit different, however, which when she kills an enemy, they turn into a snake that then belongs to you. That snake will also do poison damage as well, a little bit of poison tick damage when they're activated, but because her attack speed is so low, her range is only a 4, she has some weaknesses and some kinks to her. She has a ridiculous amount of health for a ranged unit, however. That is a big plus for her. She has the most health out of any ranged unit you'll see. She has more than some fighter cards at max level, which is just insane. So she can survive quite a bit, but the fact that she doesn't have that, if she had that 5 range, that would be nice, or a little bit of buff to attack speed would be very nice to really push her over the top and put her back to a reasonable legendary level, because to me, she's kind of fallen from grace at being a true legendary card like she was when everybody first got her. I mean, when Medusa BEBE first came out and people unlocked her, she was utilized in just about every deck because Mystical was running rampant at that time. Now, since then, Mystical has kind of fallen back, and probably the worst theme out of all of them right now, in my opinion. And since then, she has fallen as well from grace. But Medusa BEBE is still a strong card for a lot of different reasons, but definitely not in the top 2 or 3 right now, but definitely in the top 5 out of range cards in this game. And coming in at number 3 is Angel Wendy. Angel Wendy shooting up above Medusa BEBE in the same theme, primarily for one main reason. Her charge ability is very, very good. She has a charge ability that will heal a base amount of health to the 3 closest allies. It's similar to what Captain Wendy does with the 3 closest allies doing base attack damage. This one does a heal. So because the mystical theme is focused on trying to heal and sustain and things like that, Angel Wendy does a phenomenal job of that. She's also a common card, so she's going to be very easy to level up, but her heal can be so annoying. She has a 4 range, which of course, if it was a 5, in my opinion, she'd just be almost too overpowered. But her range is just fine. Her health and damage is perfectly okay. It's just her charge ability, her ability to keep you in the fight. If you do not worry about her and you do not kill her quickly, if she's high enough level at a 5 or a 6 in Legendary Arena, she can really frustrate you and keep you from being able to quickly take a push coming at you away, especially with someone like Zen Cartman in front of her. She's just going to be devastating and frustrating to deal with. No, she will not heal herself, so if you think that you only have 2 of your close 2 allies and then yourself, Angel Wendy will not heal herself. She will only heal other allies, so that is a key component to know playing her if you don't play her very much, or if you're relatively new to this game. But Angel Wendy, definitely a top 3 range card, in my opinion, in this game. And number 2, to the chagrin of many people that play this game, is Terrance MEPHESTO. And the reason why Terrance MEPHESTO is number 2 is because he's one of the rare flying cards within this game, and he also does AoE damage, which is very, very nice. He doesn't do a devastating amount of damage, similar to an AoE damage of Nathan, who's on the ground, but it will do very good damage. He has a 3.5 range, which is one of his major weaknesses, is his lack of range. But I mean, if he had any more range of a 4 or more, or a 5, if he had a 5 range, he'd be ridiculously overpowered, in my opinion. But the 3.5 is good enough for him right now. He's a rare rarity, so he'll be relatively easy to level up. Unfortunately, though, he is a neutral theme card, which neutral theme materials can sometimes be difficult to obtain at times. But Terrance MEPHESTO, definitely a very strong card. Primarily, he's so high on this list because of his flying capabilities and mixed with his AoE damage. Those two things just can really turn the tide of battle, and there was a lot of times where even if you're using a counter range unit to deal with a flying range unit, a lot of times they will not target the flying range unit first, and that can be very difficult to deal with. So you're going to need a spell, or you might need a Warcry ability that will do damage to an air unit to deal with him. And coming in at number 1 should be literally no surprise, Mecha TIMMY. There's not really a lot of reasons to say why, or to debate why Mecha TIMMY is number 1. This one will not be debated, I don't think, amongst anybody to say that Mecha TIMMY is not the best range card in the game. He does a devastating amount of damage, does the most damage out of any range unit. He has pretty good health. He has one of the most frustrating charge abilities in this entire game, where he controls the nearest enemy for 3 seconds, which that duration will increase as you level him up. He has a 5 range, which is one of the furthest ranges of all the range units. He doesn't do any kind of AoE style damage. It is single target damage. But again, if he did AoE damage, he would just be insane and nobody would never not play him as a range card if they were making a deck. To anyone that's played this game long enough should definitely know that Mecha Timmy is frustrating. He should be dealt with almost immediately. You should hopefully have a counter spell for him at all times. If you're rolling sci-fi, you need Mecha Timmy in your deck, or you need a counter for him to deal with him if you think you're gonna be running into a lot of sci-fi players, as sci-fi is probably one of the strongest themes right now as I'm recording this video. So you will be seeing a ton of Mecha Timmy if they have him unlocked, obviously. But for a legendary card, he is the only really true legendary card right now, in my opinion. Is easily the top range card right now within this game. But again, guys, let me know down below if you agree, disagree with any of the cards that I mentioned in this top 10 breakdown. I know that some of you might say in the comment section, as you have before, that I'm just repeating stuff that I've done in previous videos. I have not done necessarily anything focusing on just the specific types of cards. So this is my first attempt at a top 10 range card deck. Again, trying to more focus on the range cards because we're about to get a new one here entered into the game. But if there's any other top 10 ranking videos that you guys want to see, let me know down in the comments section down below. I do read all the comments and I will get to that. If you're not subscribed to me here on YouTube, please hit that subscription button. I would greatly appreciate it, and feel free to follow me on any of the social media outlets here to my side here. I also plan to stream here on Twitch here coming up for this coming weekend event. I will post a video coinciding along with that to kind of give you guys some heads up of when I will be streaming, if you guys are interested in doing that. But if you're not following me right now on Twitch and would like to be part of the live stream that's going to be happening later this week, that will be down in the description down below at the bottom of this video. But until then, and until next time, guys, my name is Drewzy.